This is the story of a sniper who was once just an ordinary teacher, but then something happened in his life that forced him to become a deadly sniper. The story begins in a very quiet region of Ukraine, where we see a small hut. A couple lives in this hut in which the husband's name is 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯 and the wife's name is 𝘶𝑉𝑛astya. 𝘾𝙤𝙥, there is one teacher and he teaches maths to children in a nearby school. He is a very good teacher and all the children are very happy with him, except one whose name was Ivan. He was a very rude boy and never missed a chance to put 𝘾𝙤𝙥 down. But 𝘾𝙤𝙥 was never bothered by his words and lived his life happily. One day when 𝘾𝙤𝙥 was at his school, he found out that Russia had attacked Ukraine and captured many places in Ukraine. In the evening when 𝘾𝙤𝙥 came home, he found out that his wife was pregnant. He was very happy to hear this, and the two of them celebrated the good news together. The next day, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 said goodbye to his wife and left for work, but on the way he saw two soldiers. However, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 didn't pay much attention to this and quickly made his way to school. But when he entered the school, he found it completely empty. Just then he saw the news on TV. Russia had occupied his city as well, and now he realized that the soldiers he had seen on the way were actually Russian. Thinking this, he became worried about his wife and immediately ran towards his home. When 𝘾𝙤𝙥 reached home, he saw the two soldiers brutally beating his wife. He tried to save his wife, but the soldiers beat him up as well. 𝘾𝙤𝙥 pleaded with them not to hurt his wife because she was pregnant, but the soldiers didn't listen to him at all. After beating them for a while, they searched 𝘾𝙤𝙥's house, set it on fire, and then started to leave. Seeing her house burning, 𝘶𝑉𝑛astya was filled with rage. She picked up a stone and tried to attack them. Seeing this, the soldiers opened fire and 𝘶𝑉𝑛astya died on the spot. Watching his wife die, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 was completely shattered and broke down in tears. A few hours passed like this, and then two Ukrainian soldiers came to 𝘾𝙤𝙥. They identified him and helped him dig a grave to bury 𝘶𝑉𝑛astya. After 𝘶𝑉𝑛astya's death, 𝘾𝙤𝙥's life was completely shattered. Now he had neither a home nor a family left. 𝘾𝙤𝙥 was burning with the fire of revenge, and he was determined to eliminate those soldiers at any cost. With this in mind, he decided to join the Ukrainian army. After this, the two soldiers took 𝘾𝙤𝙥 to their base, but when their senior saw 𝘾𝙤𝙥, he became quite angry and refused to recruit him into the army, because he was afraid that 𝘾𝙤𝙥 might be a spy. Here, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 told him the whole story and assured him that he wanted to free the country by killing the Russian soldiers. Hearing this, the colonel decided to give him a chance, and his training began the very next day. Now, since 𝘾𝙤𝙥 was an ordinary person, he faced a lot of difficulties during training. Here, a fellow officer helped 𝘾𝙤𝙥 and taught him how to assemble and disassemble weapons. Everyone at the camp thought that 𝘾𝙤𝙥 would never become a good soldier, but he didn't give up and kept on with his training. One night, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 tells his companions not to call him by his real name because his code name is Raven. Hearing this, everyone started laughing at him and told him that a soldier doesn't get a code name so easily, he has to earn it. However, these things didn't affect 𝘾𝙤𝙥 at all, and he continued with his training. One day, 𝘾𝙤𝙥's senior tells everyone that there are very few snipers in their group, and they need to increase this number so they can face the Russians. Here, the senior asks everyone how many of them want to become snipers. Hearing this, a few people step forward, and among them is 𝘾𝙤𝙥 as well, because he also wanted to become a sniper. Seeing 𝘾𝙤𝙥, his senior tells him that he is not ready to become a sniper yet. You can't even assemble or disassemble a gun, so becoming a sniper is out of the question for now. To this, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 says that he just needs one chance to prove himself, and he will do it within 20 seconds. Hearing this, 𝘾𝙤𝙥's senior places a gun on the table and tells 𝘾𝙤𝙥 to step forward. Now, to prove himself, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 ties a blindfold over his eyes and quickly disassembles and reassembles the gun, completing the task in just 18 seconds. Now, seeing 𝘾𝙤𝙥's agility, everyone is quite impressed with him and applauds him. Recognizing his abilities, he is also included in the sniper training. During the training, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 is given an old model gun while the others are given modern weapons. Seeing this, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 also asks for a modern weapon. To this, the senior tells him that if he wants that gun, he'll have to prove himself first. Now, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 had no other option, so he took what he was given and left. During training, the senior tells everyone that no matter what situation a sniper faces, he never moves an inch from his position and always keeps his aim fixed on the target. To practice this, the senior fires bullets near everyone, and any sniper who moves from his position is eliminated from the training. But when it's 𝘾𝙤𝙥's turn, he doesn't move an inch from his spot and keeps his aim fixed. In the next training, the sniper is shown their target only once, then their eyes are covered and they have to shoot at the target by estimating its position. Now, while the others manage to complete this test, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 fails because the gun he had was quite old, making it very difficult to pull off this feat. The next training was even more difficult for these snipers because they had to shoot their target in the light of a flare, and that too in the darkness of night. Here, the senior fired the flare and everyone took aim, but no one was able to hit the target. Here, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧𝙞𝙤𝙡 didn't fire immediately. Instead, he gauged the distance to his target in the flare's light and used his knowledge of math to make a perfect shot. Seeing this, his senior was very impressed with him and gave him the code name he wanted. Days went by like this, and 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧𝙞𝙤𝙡 kept dedicating himself wholeheartedly to his training. Finally, the day arrived when the results of their training were to be announced. Here, the colonel saluted 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧𝙞𝙤 and told him that he had passed the test. A few days later, after a period of anticipation and perhaps some unease, the esteemed colonel, a figure of authority and considerable presence, makes his way to 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯. His arrival is not a casual visit, but rather a deliberate and significant event, suggesting an important purpose or a matter of urgency that requires his direct attention and interaction with 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯. The circumstances surrounding this encounter are yet to be fully revealed, but the very presence of the colonel indicates a pivotal moment is about to unfold from 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯. When those people protested, the soldiers beat them severely. Seeing all this, the colonel ordered his soldiers to open fire, and in no time, all the Russian soldiers were killed. In this way, their first mission was completed. After the mission, when everyone returned to the base, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯 noticed that many of his comrades were not present at the base. He was told that the rest of his comrades had been sent on another mission. The next day, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 received news that many of his comrades had been killed during that mission, and that all of them had been shot by a Russian sniper. The sniper's name was 𝘶𝙤𝙬, and he was Russia's deadliest sniper. A few days passed like this, and 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 set out on his next mission with his comrades. Upon reaching the location, they planted mines all around and took up their positions. A little while later, Russian soldiers arrived there, and Ivan was with them. Ivan was the same boy who used to bully 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 at school, and now he had joined the Russian army. As soon as they stepped on the landmines, there was a loud explosion, and they were all killed. Here, the colonel explained to 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 that he shouldn't feel any sorrow over Ivan's death because joining the Russian army was Ivan's own decision. After completing the mission, they all returned to their base camp. Here, the colonel showed 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 a photo of his family and told him that there are 3 people in his family, and both his daughters are unaware that their father is a soldier. Here, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 also told the colonel his entire story, how the Russian soldiers brutally killed his wife. During this time, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 became quite emotional, but the colonel managed to console him. The next morning, they all set out on their next mission. This mission was very important because they had received information that a unit of Russian soldiers was going to pass through this route. The colonel and 𝘾𝙤𝙮 quickly reached the location and took up their positions. After a while, they spotted 2 Russian soldiers who were waiting for the rest of their team. Here 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 noticed that one of the soldiers was the one who had shot his wife, and he was right in 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮's line of fire. At this point, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 asked for permission to shoot, but the colonel refused. Now 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 was burning with anger and was determined to kill his wife's murderer at any cost, so he asked for permission to fire again. But once again, the colonel refused to allow it. But now 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮's patience snapped, and he fired the shot. The bullet killed the soldier on the spot. But the Russians also found out their location. But what was even worse was that Russia's most dangerous sniper, named 𝘶𝙬, was also in position, and now he too knew their location. The colonel was also aware that 𝘶𝙬 was nearby, so he started searching for 𝘶𝙬. But before he could find out 𝘶𝙬's location, 𝘶𝙬 gave him a headshot, and the colonel died on the spot. Now 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 realized that the Russians had discovered their location and how his one mistake had cost the colonel his life. Meanwhile, the Russian soldiers also started heavy firing at 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮, as the circumstances continued to deteriorate with alarming speed and severity, becoming increasingly dire and untenable. 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮, after carefully assessing the rapidly unfolding and highly unfavorable development on the ground, came to the critical and unavoidable conclusion that a strategic withdrawal was absolutely necessary. Recognizing the escalating dangers and the unsustainable nature of their current position, he made the decisive choice to initiate a full retreat, prioritizing the safety and preservation of his forces above all else, given the profoundly challenging and rapidly deteriorating conditions that left him with no other viable option but to pull back from the precarious situation. Soon he took down a sniper. But during this exchange of fire, he was also hit by a bullet. However, he didn't give up and somehow managed to take out the second sniper as well. Now, since he was badly injured, he went to a secret base and gave his body some rest. During this time, he received a call from the army major, who told 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮 that they had identified the sniper who killed the colonel. After this, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 reached his base where the major began briefing everyone about the sniper. The major explained that the sniper's name is 𝘶𝙬, and he is Russia's best sniper. 𝘶𝙬 has taken down 6 of Ukraine's most skilled snipers, so we shouldn't underestimate him. The major explains that 𝘶𝙬 is a sniper who usually doesn't change his position and hunts his enemies from a specific location. Now, all of them come up with a plan to put 𝘶𝙬's location by splitting into 2 teams. According to the plan, their first team will attack the Russian soldiers head-on, and while they are distracted by this assault, the second team will attack them from behind. Taking advantage of the chaos, 𝘾𝙤𝙥 will enter the building and kill 𝘶𝙬. After finalizing the plan, they all set out towards the location. Upon reaching the location, all the snipers took their positions and sat ready, aiming at their targets. Meanwhile, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯 also quietly entered the building, where he spotted 2 Russian soldiers. Without any delay, he killed both of them and proceeded further into the building. After that, he signaled his team, and as soon as they received the signal, they killed all the soldiers. Meanwhile, Sari noticed that none of his comrades were reporting to him. Sensing that something was wrong, he went up to the roof of the building, where a sniper was already present. But when he got to the top, he saw that the sniper was already dead, and now Sari realized that the Ukrainian soldiers had surrounded him from all sides. He contacted his base for backup, but it would still take another 10 minutes for the backup to reach him. Hearing this, he quickly returned to his position and started searching for the Ukrainian soldiers. But just then, he spotted one of 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯's toys, which his wife had given him. Before Sari could process anything, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯 attacked him and stabbed him repeatedly, killing him. But because of this scuffle, the other sniper in the building became a bit more alert. However, before he could do anything, 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙯 threw a grenade at him, and in the explosion, this last sniper was also killed. Meanwhile, the backup team that Sari had called also reached the building, but they were unaware that Sari was already dead. So when they called Sari, the call was answered, and they were told that they were all going to die, and with that, he shot the truck driver. As soon as the shot was fired, chaos broke out among the Russian soldiers, and they all jumped out of the truck. However, despite their careful observations and strategic planning, they remained entirely unaware of the significant and unfolding developments concerning the Ukraine. This critical lack of knowledge meant they were completely oblivious to the crucial actions, intentions, and capabilities of the Ukraine, which would undoubtedly play a pivotal role in the upcoming events. Their understanding of the situation was incomplete, as they had not yet grasped the full extent of the Ukraine's involvement and its potential impact on the evolving circumstances. This oversight was a major blind spot in their assessment, leaving them unprepared for what was to come from the Ukraine's side.